It's not a great look for anyone involved in Tottenham. I mean, Fake or others asked Harry Kane, and he said, rightly so, he squashed that basically and said, I've not spoken to anyone. I'm sure he knows something that's going on.
He didn't say, though, did he? He didn't say, I really want Antonio Conte to continue to be our manager.
He squashed the question, I think. Faye could have pushed him a little bit more and said, do you want...
He could have come out and backed him.
I think he just wanted to steer clear of that. He's on international duty. I think he wanted it about England. And fair enough, if that's what he wants. But it's not a good look, of course. Do I expect him to be back? I don't, actually. But it needs a resolve very quickly. I think I look at Daniel Levy and I think, right, so he's out of contract at the end of the season. What would that be? £3 million maybe? Is he going to pay him off? I don't think he is. I don't think he would do that. I think it's all about money for me. I think I was listening to Jim and Simon said the same thing. It's about money. He wants money to leave, and Daniel Levy's saying, well, I'm not going to pay you. Can he be sacked? Can he be sacked, do you think, putting the club in disrepute?
It could be classed.
Do you think Daniel Levy would be looking at that?
I'm sure the lawyers have been picking over those comments and working out if they do have a case.
But saying that, it's all speculation. We don't actually know what's going on.
And we know the players. I know for a fact the Tottenham players are not happy with Antonio Conte. They expect...
They're not going to be after the outburst.
In many cases, they want him to leave.
Yeah.
That's a problem for Daniel Levy because they're still in the top four. That's the aim now. Champions League qualification. Clearly, if you've got an unhappy group of players, that's less likely to happen than if you can bring in a manager who is going to reunite a divided dressing room.
Yeah, of course.
He has no alternative, does he, Daniel Levy? He just has to pull the trigger.
Daniel Levy won't be looking at outside noise at all. He'll be thinking what's best for Tottenham Hotspur in terms of where they're going to finish this season. If keeping Antonio Conte, he feels is the right decision to push them for the top four, he won't listen to no one else. He'll go for that. If getting rid of him will have the best chance, putting Ryan Mason in charge potentially, he will go for that. He's not going to listen to outside noise whatsoever. We've seen that. We see that he doesn't listen to outside opinions. So I think, I don't think we'll see Antonio Conte back. But if Daniel Levy feels that the best opportunity of him getting in the top four, at the end of the day, that's all he wants. He's made that clear. He wants to be in the top four. Then we will see him back. But it needs a resolve quickly.
We believe that they're admirers of Julian Nagelsmann, who of course is seemingly available, having left Bayern Munich earlier than expected. But there are sources in Germany who are suggesting that he's on gardening leave at Bayern, and that if Tottenham did want to appoint him, it would still cost them a lot of money to effectively buy him out of his contract. You've just said this is about money for Daniel Levy, so that looks like an avenue that maybe will be closed. Mauricio Pochettino is a free agent. We know that he would like to go back to Spurs, but there's interest from clubs overseas and maybe in the Premier League as well. There's probably more questions than answers at this moment in time, isn't there? It
just seems a circus at the moment at Tottenham, and I think most supporters will be getting frustrated at the whole situation. Most supporters would have been frustrated coming from 3-1 up against Southampton and drawing 3-3. But you're still in with an opportunity of getting top four. And I just felt, and like we said this last week, I felt it was premeditated, his outburst. I think he was prepared, and it wouldn't have mattered if it was the Southampton game, the Everton game next, Brighton after that. One occasion was going to get Antonio Conte to have the outburst that he did, and I think that's not healthy. That's not healthy in terms of Daniel Levy and Antonio Conte's relationship. As you said, and rightly so, the players are clearly going to be frustrated because they've been dug out by the manager, and now he's gone away to Italy and he's not returned. So it's not looking good for Spurs and Antonio Conte. But once again, it's Daniel Levy's decision. He won't listen to outside noise whatsoever. He'll see what he feels is the best opportunity to get in the top four, and he'll go from there.
Spurs' next game, incidentally, will be live on talkSPORT a week tomorrow. They go to Everton, then it's Brighton at home, Bournemouth at home, then a tricky looking run of fixtures that could decide their top four fate. They've got Newcastle away, they've got Manchester United at home on a Thursday night, and then they've got Liverpool away from home. That concludes their April. May looks a bit easier, but if they don't get anything out of those games at Newcastle, at home to Manchester United and away at Liverpool, you would imagine it would be difficult to finish in the top four anyway. As a Spurs fan, do you want Conte to stay until the end of the season, or do you want him to go?
I just want the situation to be sorted. Well, after the outburst, I felt the relationship would be untenable. I think, is that the right word? Untenable?
Yeah.
Untenable, and they wouldn't be able to repair it. So I felt best for the football club was him to just leave and them to replace him. I mentioned Mauricio Pochettino. I think he has unfinished business. You know, I got mixed reactions in terms of don't go back, look forward. And then, as you said, Julian, as you said earlier, Nagelsmann, as Julian Nagelsmann has been relieved of his duties at BeIN. But if it's going to cost to replace him, Daniel Levy is not going to do that. So it's just, like I said, it's a circus at the moment, and most, and if not all, Tottenham supporters just want this sorted one way or another. If he's coming back, then he needs to be committed to the football club until at least the end of the season, and do everything he can to get the club into the top four.
Spurs fans, you've had more than a week now to digest Antonio Conte's explosive post-match comments and indeed to evaluate his future. Let us know, do you want Conte in charge when you take on Everton a week tomorrow live on talkSPORT, or do you need a new manager to get into the Champions League this season? 03717223344